Hey everybody, it's Thursday, March 4th, and this is In Case You Missed American History. If you're watching this, that means you couldn't make it to class today in person or online, and that's okay. I hope you're doing well. I hope those around you are doing well. And I hope you got out, for a few minutes yesterday and enjoyed the beautiful weather. I'm hoping it's not like a fall spring thing and we get 2 feet of snow in the next couple of weeks, but we do live in Wisconsin, so don't count your chickens before they've hatched, my friends. You never know what it's going to be. All right. Well, hey, so I'm going to run you guys through what we did today in class, lay things out for you, and make sure that you know what's going on. But just in case, a couple of reminders first. First of all, remember that we have no meets on Monday or Tuesday next week. We've still got normal classes tomorrow, Friday, but we have no meets on Monday or Tuesday. When you get up, check through your Google Classrooms for your different classes. Do the tasks that your teachers ask you to do. Remember that on Monday, your task for me is to finish your World War II work. And then on Tuesday, your task is going to be to get caught up. I'm still going to post those things so that you know what's going on. But just in case, no meets, check Google Classroom. If a teacher tells you they want to meet with you on Monday or Tuesday, though, that doesn't mean you blow them off. You need to make sure you go. Other reminders, the schedule changes next week. We start at 8, we go to 2:21. That's going to be obviously Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That means we're going to have 80-minute classes, still going to have nutrition break in there, still going to have lunch. Lunch is going to move to third hour, though, so don't forget about that. Ask your third hour teacher in the next couple of days, if you haven't already, when your lunch is going to be. For people that were here today, sorry, I threw this on the slide for the people that were here. They're school pictures. If you're at home today, because you're virtual and you see this, I think they're doing pictures for virtual people from 2:30 to 3:30. It's in the band room in the high school. If you come in and go to the office, I'll get you to the right place. But if you have any questions about that, you could message me and I can definitely update you on what's going on. There's only 3.5 weeks left in our class, you guys. That's all we've got left. Well, it's really 3 weeks and 2 days now. So, if you're doing well, if your grade's looking good, keep it up. Don't let it drop here at the end. Stay on it. Keep the grade you've earned. For you guys that maybe aren't doing so well, we still got 3.5 weeks left. But also a lot of the people that aren't doing well, it's because they owe me stuff. So get that work in, get those tests done. If you need to know where something is, can't find an assignment, need a link for a test, please just message me, email me, and I will get you those things. Okay. Last but not least, before we move off the reminder slide, World War II work is due on Monday by midnight, so make sure you get that done. And one reminder, there are 3 things in there. I've had a couple people turned in, and I was like, oh, damn, that's awesome, they're done. And then I looked, and they'd only done one of the 3 things. So don't submit it until all 3 things are done, okay? If you just do oversimplified and hit turn in, you're only going to get 1 grade out of 3. So make sure you do the thing, okay? All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the 2 things we talked about today. And that's some major events, not toward the end, but yeah, pretty much close to the end of the war. So yesterday we talked a little bit about how America got involved in the war. Once we got involved in the war, we kind of had to split our troops. There was a European-African, they call it a theater, where fighting happens, trying to defeat the Nazis and the Nazi Germans and the Italians. And then there's a Pacific theater where we do something called island hopping, which means we were taking over the places that Japan had taken from us and from other places like the Philippines and Guam and different islands that they had taken from other people. And we went island by island and fought and won the islands. A lot of those battles were really, really fierce, really bloody, high cost of death. There were some pretty major Navy battles out in the Pacific Ocean, like Midway. We had to deal with kamikaze pilots. If you've never heard that term, kamikaze, Japanese would fly their airplanes and smash them into our boats. There's some really interesting things. In the Pacific, we used Navajo Indians as code talkers so that we didn't have to speak in a secret code. We had Navajo Indians talk to each other. There's a lot of interesting things out that way. And some of them are going to get covered in the videos that I ask you guys to watch. But today I want to cover 2 major events that help us win the war. The first is in the European theater, and the second is in the Pacific theater. The first one is called D-Day. And so really once the Allies, again, we're part of the Allies, take over Northern Africa from the Nazis and the Italians, we're able to attack up through Italy to, move towards Germany, okay? The Soviets are attacking from the east, so we're coming in from the south and the east, but we want to liberate or free France and come in from the other side and completely mush Germany. And so we decide, the Allied or the American leader, a guy named Dwight D. Eisenhower, who would later become president, and it becomes the head of this thing called Operation Overlord. And Operation Overlord is the name given to this invasion of northern France at a place called Normandy, northern beaches. They decide that they're going to do this in early June. The weather is garbage. So if you're wondering why it's called D-Day, it's because A-Day, B-Day, and C-Day had junk weather, so they had to cancel. But D-Day happened on June 6, 1944. We dropped paratroopers in behind the beach so they could start to clear the area, make sure that roadways and bridges were secured, and generally they could take out any things that might be problems once we landed. However, they knew that the beach landings were going to be the most difficult. They were going to be extremely costly in lives and supplies. It's one of the largest supply collections in history. If you guys were with me in a normal year, I'd show you the chunk of America, the story of us about D-Day, and it's crazy how much stuff they collected. They had glass eyes in like 4 different colors and all kinds of different sizes, blood for blood transfusions, our prosthetic limbs, all the military stuff you could possibly need. Just crazy. But in particular, Omaha Beach, where a number of Americans landed, was considered to be the most fierce fighting. This invasion was American, British, Canadian, and what was left of the French army, and others were mainly involved in this landing. And probably the best thing I can do to really get you into this and let you feel it is I'm going to show you guys the first 5 minutes of Saving Private Ryan here. It is going to make the video take a little bit longer, but I think it's worth it. If you've ever seen Saving Private Ryan, you can just jump to the end of this. But, I'm going to go into presentation mode and show you guys this. I'm going to be quiet while it's playing too. Okay, I'm going to check the volume up here. These are troop transport boats that didn't really have any weapons on them, so you were sitting duck on these things. You may recognize some actors here too.
Clear the room! 30 seconds! Got me with you!
Forward strike stick, starboard side stick. Move fast and clear those murder holes.
Want to be plenty of feet between men. 5 men is a shoot the opportunity. 1 man's a waste of ammo.
Keep the sand out of your weapons. Keep those actions clear. I'll see you on the beach.
So that should give you a concept. That's a clip from Saving Private Ryan. It has Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, Vin Diesel, a couple actors named Barry Pepper and Tom Sizemore that you guys might recognize. Huge cost of life, but we were able to take the beaches and displace the Germans out of northern France. We were able to move from there and liberate France. Win a battle around Christmas of 1944 called the Battle of the Bulge, where the Nazis tried to push through and formed a bubble in our line. But from there, the Soviets crushing in from one direction, us and the British, the French, and the Canadians coming from another. The Hitler shoots himself, and Nazi Germany surrenders along with Italy. Once that happens, we can focus all of our attention on Japan. And later in 1945, new president, FDR passed away. New president Harry Truman is faced with a decision to make. He's told, Mr. President, we're at a spot where we have two options. We have an invasion of Japan, which could be costly in lives. I've read estimates of death between 2 and 3 million if an invasion of France were to happen, or Japan. I don't know why I keep saying France. Sorry. Or we have this top secret project we've been working on called the Manhattan Project, where we developed an atomic bomb. They show them test footage of dropping an atomic bomb in the desert in New Mexico at a place called Los Alamogordos. The sand was turned to glass, destroys all of the things. And he asks, what's the estimated loss of life? And they say, well, each bomb probably is about 100 to 200,000 people. They pick out a target, and Truman is given the decision of, do we invade and millions of people die, or do we drop a bomb on a city and risk the lives of those people only? And he makes the decision to drop the first atomic bomb on August 6, 1945. The first target is a place called Hiroshima. And the bomb works exactly as it's supposed to. It goes off above the ground. There's a downforce, a huge heat release, fireball, aftershock, and then the mushroom cloud, radiation, all those different things. Obviously, thousands of Japanese die, but they do not surrender right away. So 3 days later, the second bomb is dropped on the city of Nagasaki. And after that, the Japanese formally surrender, and World War II comes to an end. World War II is glorified in movies and Hollywood and in history and History Channel and things. It was obviously a huge turning point for us. It absolutely made us one of the world's top two powers. It made us the big democratic country in the world, if we weren't already. In reality, there's a lot of horrible things that go along with World War II, the loss of life, the decision Truman had to make about the atomic bomb, the Holocaust, which we'll talk about tomorrow. If you're into movies, I highly do recommend Saving Private Ryan. There is language, there is realistic war violence and things like that. If you have any questions about anything you saw in any of the clips or anything that maybe I didn't get to talk about enough, or that you didn't see in videos that I had you guys watching your assignments, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer those questions. I'll see you tomorrow, regular 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 9:21 to 10:21. 11:33 to 1. You guys know the deal right now. One more day of that left, I guess. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.